Hi everyone, Elise again from EDM 113 for your session 3 into your unit of teaching and learning. Let's have a little bit of a look, play from start. Okay, so session 3, where are we at the moment? So we're looking at digital citizenship, so we're continuing on with digital citizenship as we did during week 2, but we're more so looking now at digital storytelling, and this is something that the students absolutely love to be engaged with. And I even did it this morning because I thought that they would enjoy it. So I'll show you a little bit of what we did in the classroom this morning. So the session today, what is digital storytelling and why do we use digital storytelling in teaching and learning? Why we can use comics and animation in teaching and learning, and what are the benefits of having students produce comics and animations? And then the technology we'll be using, which comic and animation applications are the most suited to the age group I'll be teaching, so something to consider. So digital storytelling, you've got the quote here. It says, digital storytelling allows computer users to become creative storytellers through the traditional process of selecting a topic, conducting some research, writing a script and developing an interesting story. Now, for me this morning with my students, I'm recording this on International Women's Day, so it's Friday, and I had a series of women who have made an impact on society. So I've got from the International Women's Day website, I simply downloaded some information about, I think it was 6 women they had. So there's one here, 1, 2, 3, J.K. Rowling, 4, 5, and 6. So there were 6 different women. Each of the students were handed out, once we'd spoken about International Women's Day, each student received a different person. Well, I divvied up the 6 between my 25 students. And they had to read through their bit of information to find out a bit about the person they were looking into. Because we're in a Year 4 classroom, we don't have a lot of time for research. We've got a busy Friday, so that was their research, them doing their reading. They then went through and highlighted the bits of information that they thought was important. This is one of the students, so she's chosen various bits of information. So this person here, she risked her life for the cause and has changed history. She's born on July 12th, 97, where she was born. Loved school and had big dreams of becoming a teacher, a doctor or a politician. And then it speaks about, her courageous voice. So that student has chosen bits of information that they think is important. I've then asked them to go onto a website called Storyboard That, which is one of the ones that you were asked to have a look at, or it's on the LMS. So let's have a little bit of a look at the LMS. So we were teaching as we were going and letting them have a bit of a play with Storyboard That because we'd never used it before today. So if I jump into my Safari here, and I'm going into our LMS to show you whereabouts this information is. So I'm going back onto the home page. I've got to log back in again. All right, so we've got, I'm just going to reduce the size of that one because that's too big for what I want. Okay, so we've gone into session 3, which is this week. You've got your questions, presentation slides, which we're looking at now, and then you've got the technology component, so comics and animation applications. This one here is really important for you to have a look at this week, just to give you some really great tools to use in the classroom. So Storyboard That is the one that we started looking at. This is our task, which I'll go into in just a minute, but we were looking at this with my classroom this morning. Their task, you have a look, I've just written it up on my board. Oh, all right, so up here, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it says International Women's Day, your task, based on your International Women's Day figure, create a storyboard that comic featuring your figure to tell a story about how they overcame adversity or their rise to success. I've then given them the website on there and I've asked them to create an account using their school email. Okay, so we've all done that. We all went and jumped on, had a go at that. You've also got other ones that you can have a look at. So Toon-Do, Make Believe Comics, and there's other things. Powtoon is something that I absolutely love, but it's a little bit more advanced for my Year 4s, so we might need to take a little bit more time in looking at that for them another time. So let's have a look at Storyboard That. We're going to just jump into it for now because it's a nice easy one to use. So brings you up with a screen. This is exactly what my students saw. Oh, no, don't worry about that because I was using it before with the kids. So their job was to create their scenes. So you've got different scenes here. You might be in a town, it could be a workplace, maybe at school, an athletics field. You can scroll through and see. A lot of it's very American, but that's okay. So one of the people that we were looking at was an ice skater. So let's have a look. So Yuna Kim was our ice skater. So they could choose an ice skating rink for it. They would then go into their characters, and if they couldn't find the person they want to, they could press the search button. I don't know if that'll come up, but we'll give it a go. No thanks, I don't want to upgrade. No results found. So maybe we can refine our search further. Put a skater, no results found. Well, that's a shame. Anyway, so let's go back into characters and see whether or not we can find who we want. Let's have a look at sports. You can press that little button there to make it go down lower. All right, so maybe this person here, she's a gymnast, but we'll make it. Here we go. So she can go on our ice here. You can change the hair. You can change the skin colour, eye suit, whatever. So you can have a bit of a play, and the kids really loved having a go at that. So that's one option, and you've got so many things that you can do. So their job was then to tell the story of that person, pretty much. So that's that one, and that's something that you can go and have a little bit of a look at. You will possibly need to use it if that's the one you choose for our activity for this week. So going back to our slides, that's just a bit of what we did in the classroom today. Current slide. All right, so what is digital storytelling? So it's basically the three types of digital stories. It's personal narratives, stories that inform or instruct, stories that examine historical events. I could even throw in there and say that you could use it as a form of persuasive text as well. So there's a whole range of activities that you could do linked with this. I suppose narrative was one that the kids really enjoy, and it's a nice easy one if you wanted to start off with that before moving on to the others to have a bit of a go with those. So why we use digital storytelling within teaching and learning. All this stuff here is important, the bits that have come up on the screen, but in particular it captures students' attention and generates interest in exploring new ideas. As soon as I said that we were using the laptops and we were going to have a go at making a comic online, my students all stopped, they all listened, and they were really engaged with what we were doing. Something that they don't get to do every day. They enjoy using the computers, it's engaging for them. So it's certainly worthwhile giving it a bit of a go, and certainly gives them the skills that they need for the 21st century. So let's keep going. I'm not going to make this too long for us today. Now, just going back on this one here, why we're using it, I think that it's important just to touch upon what we refer to when we talk about 21st century skills. So this is from your readings as well. So it's learning and innovation skills. So it's being creative, thinking creatively, implementing innovations, critical thinking, problem solving, making important judgments and decisions, and that's important when you think about your digital footprint online as well. Communicating with others, making sure that your communication is clear, and also being collaborative, because it's certainly options that you can do for being collaborative online in this sort of an environment. And then you've also got your information and media literacy skills. So it gives them the opportunity to create a media project, got your ICT literacy in there, accessing information, evaluating information to make sure it's appropriate and relevant. You could expand the project further on what I've done and actually go and get the students to do a little bit more research about the person that they were looking into. Mine was just very surface for the purpose of what I needed them to do. But if you're doing an older year group or something that you wanted to do a proper project in, you could really start to get their teeth into it and deepen that further. Okay, we move on to comics for learning. So what I'd like you to do now is to go on to our class canvas on the LMS and create a sticky note to answer these few questions just as a reflective part of your practice. So think of cartoons and comics you watched or read in your growing years. How did you feel when you read them? What do you recall about them? Did you learn anything through them? And if so, what did you learn? So please go on to the LMS now, stop this recording, and the next one will be done in another video. So please try and have a bit of a go. I'll just jump on so you can see exactly where it is and what it looks like. So EDN 113, I'll just make myself a student again. Go. So we're going to the class canvas on the LMS. We go external students, group 2, and then you've got session 3, and I've only put reflections on there currently. So click on reflections and that will come up and you can post your reflections there. All right, stay tuned, there's more coming.